Well, Rand Water's planned maintenance repairs are due to be completed today, but some Johannesburg residents have been without water for at least 3 days. Residents say water tankers have also been a no-show, forcing some to travel to neighbouring suburbs to fetch water. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is following that story for us. Manqoba, maybe just tell us where exactly you are in Johannesburg. And of course, you know, some have been lucky, some have not been so lucky to have water. And from what I heard, the maintenance is going as planned, and it should be ending today, which means people should be having water from tomorrow, hopefully. But what do you hear?
Well, certainly we know that Rand Water has confirmed that in fact they were expecting the work to be completed today, but of course the impact of it all is still being felt on the ground by many communities that are still without water. Yesterday we went to Soweto, where we saw residents there who literally had to walk over 3 kilometers just to try and get water. And of course, this morning we're seeing many of the suburbs, more especially in the Randburg area, that have been affected by the outages. Some of the areas have no water at all. Just earlier on, we're speaking to some of the businesses in Quaco Park that have say that they haven't had water for the past 2 days or so. And today we understand that many other areas in Randburg have also been affected. We're in North Cliff where we are, and this is one of the shops that sells water, dispenses water, and we're seeing quite a number of people that are coming here. We're seeing panic buying that is happening here today. It tells you just how people are still affected. Of course, you recall that Rand Water had indicated that even though the work might be completed, it may still take some time before water is fully restored. Some of the reservoirs are already empty. They are being fed, of course, by the eNCA booster pump station, which has largely been affected. And these are some of the areas that include Randburg, Roodepoort, as well as Soweto and Lenasia, the south of Johannesburg, that have been the hardest hit as far as this is concerned. We've seen quite a number of people here today buying in bulk water, and it tells you just what the situation looks like here. I'm just going to ask the owner of this shop to speak to us, perhaps just to paint a picture, Baron, as far as the situation is concerned, how things are going. But what we did see also in some of the communities was the fact that there was not enough water tanks that have been placed. This is one of the complaints that was raised by some of the community members, especially in the areas of Windsor, that says up until now they've seen no water tanks, there have been no stationary tankers that are there available for them. So that's the reason why many have had to come now and buy water from outlets like this one. Thank you. Let's just get a sense from you, Belinda, on the situation, what you're seeing on the ground.
It's been panic buying since last week. As soon as we got that message from Joburg Water, people have been panic buying. We've been stocking up containers because in case the water runs out, but we have a reserve in our shop, in our factory. So we've been able to cope with the demand.
And I hear that also some of your branches have been affected.
Yeah, some shops have run dry in the areas that's been affected, but fortunately they've diverted some of the customers to our shops because we still have a reserve of water.
And in terms of the people that are buying, I see that many of them are buying large quantities of water. In fact, I just saw, like 36 water bottles that had been going to one order. So the situation, what are people saying, some of the customers as far as that is concerned?
People are very desperate because not only is it drinking water that they desperate for, but toilet flushing. They have to buy water to flush toilets, and people have been very desperate.
So in terms of the impact, I mean, are you anticipating to see more people? We know that many areas now in Randburg don't have water from this morning. What are you expecting?
Well, as long as the water's off, we're going to see this continuous demand and panic buying, But so we must just see that we're well stocked up. We are well stocked up, and I just want people to know that we are prepared. We've stocked up containers. We've sold a lot of 25 liters, 10 liters, and 10 containers, and we've been able to supply the customers.
All right, thank you for speaking to us. That was Belinda Fraser, just giving us a sense of the situation here. Of course, we're seeing quite a number of people just coming inside the shop, but what also people have been raising is the issue of load shedding as well, which is also now another thing that is troubling many people, that not only do they have water problems, but also they've now been hit with stage 6 load shedding, and you can understand the frustrations here on the ground for many of the consumers and people that do not have water. They're saying that even though they had received the communication that there is not going to be water, they didn't expect that these outages were going to last for such a long period of time. Rainwater have indicated, of course, that it could last well up to 5 and 10 days or 14 days, in fact, before water is fully restored in some of these areas. So it's still, a lot of frustrations here on the ground as far as the water situation is concerned.
Manqoba, I can't help but, think that this is also, it has a devastating impact on businesses, especially small businesses who rely on water, but now also you mentioned the load shedding that we are experiencing as well. So this definitely, I can just imagine having a small little coffee shop, you need water and you need electricity to basically run your business, and this is definitely having such a big impact on that.
Well, certainly, Baron, it's a double whammy, if I can call it that. Many of the businesses are saying that they're struggling with the issue of water, but now also stage 6 load shedding. Earlier on, we spoke to a bakery, that is a small bakery just around Quaco Park, that spoke to us about how they've been impacted. They haven't had water for the past 2 days, and this bakery was telling us that they need water and electricity to be able to produce their products. So they've been using bottled water to try and keep up with the demand. They've had to cancel some of the orders just because of the fact that they don't have both water and electricity. We also spoke to a hair salon where we actually found them using containers, 5-liter containers, just to wash their customers' hair. So that just tells you how impacted businesses have been on the ground by these outages. And of course, many of them are saying that they're hoping that the situation will be restored soon, and that the situation will go back to normality. But as Rainwater says, it still might take between 5 and 14 days before the situation gets back to normal. But residents certainly feeling the pinch of those water cuts. Not only that, but also stage 6 load shedding.
Thank you so much. Manqoba Mchunu, of course, just giving us an update on this 58-hour water shutdown. As you can see, people are still buying bottles and bottles of water to try and keep up. But businesses, small businesses especially, at the end of the day, they are definitely struggling, and they're losing out on money at the end of the day. 3 days without water some residents are experiencing, so hopefully this can be resolved very, very swiftly. Today is the last day for this maintenance taking place, but we don't know if residents will have water tomorrow or for the weekend.